In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NFL games happening on December 24, 2022, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NFL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. New Orleans Saints versus Cleveland Browns. The New Orleans Saints will pay a visit to the Cleveland Browns on Saturday at First Energy Stadium. The Saints have won 2 of their past 6 but did pick up a victory over Atlanta last week. The Browns were also winners last week, defeating Baltimore 13-3. It was their 3rd win in the past 4 games. These 2 teams have not met since 2018, when New Orleans edged Cleveland 21-18 at the Superdome. The Saints are 39-19 against the spread in their last 58 road games and 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 Saturday games. The Browns are 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 Saturday games and 1-4 against the spread versus a team with a losing record. The under is 6-1 in Saints' last 7 games overall. The under is 4-0 in Browns' last 4 games overall. The Saints are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 meetings. The road team is 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 meetings. The underdog is 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 meetings. The season is all but over for Cleveland, but they are still playing with pride. It was a good win against what was a hobbled Ravens team, and the final score of the Bengals game is a little misleading. The Browns have the stronger ground attack, and we just saw the Falcons gash New Orleans for over 230 yards on the ground alone. Cleveland will look to continue to exploit that weakness. The Saints will have trouble moving the ball through the air given the vicious weather conditions and the trouser-ripping winds. While Hill has proven to be effective, the Saints haven't used him enough to trust that he will continue to get involved in the running game. This will be a messy, bone-chilling game, and that is exactly how the Browns want it. The New Orleans Saints have watched their season completely fall apart, and now they get to go to freezing Cleveland and play in single-digit weather. The Cleveland Browns have the ground game to win in these sorts of conditions, and their defense has improved over the last few weeks. This is a game the Browns should win at home to keep themselves alive in the playoff conversation. So the Cleveland Browns to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. This is one of the lowest totals you'll see all season. The line is basically saying each team will score twice and one team hits a field goal late to win. The weather in this game is the reason the total has dropped, and rightfully so. With winds expecting to be upwards of 20 miles per hour and snow falling during the game, it will not be the environment coaches are looking to air it out. The Saints have a good enough red zone defense to make it difficult for Cleveland to punch it in when they get inside the 20. We also haven't seen promising red zone results from the Saints offense. The weather here only adds another layer of offensive difficulty inside the 20s. Yes, the total is low, but I believe it moved downward for a reason. That reason is blizzard-like conditions. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Seattle Seahawks versus Kansas City Chiefs. A pair of old AFC West rivals take the field in an interconference matchup on the gridiron in the Midwest. The Seattle Seahawks are on the road as they make the trip to face the Kansas City Chiefs Saturday afternoon. Seattle comes in off a 21-13 home loss to San Francisco in their previous contest last Thursday, failing to cover the line as a 3-point underdog. Kansas City struggled before earning a 30-24 overtime win over the lowly Texans on the road Sunday, failing to cover the line as a hefty 14.5-point favorite in that contest. In the all-time regular season series between the teams, the Chiefs own a 33-19 advantage, though the Seahawks picked up a 38-31 home win in the most recent matchup and the most recent meeting on December 23, 2018. Seattle is 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games and 0-5 against the spread in their last 5th of December games. The over is 5-1 in Seattle's last 6 road games. Kansas City is 0-6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games and 0-3-1 against the spread in their last 4 games on grass. The under is 4-0 in Kansas City's last 4 home games. The over is 5-0 in these 2 teams' last 5 head-to-head meetings. Kansas City will win this matchup on Saturday, but Seattle, battling for a playoff spot. We'll keep it close. The Kansas City Chiefs have already clinched the AFC West and could begin to give some of its players less playing time over the final 3 weeks of the regular season. Kansas City's defense at times allows opponents to remain in the game. Kansas City is allowing 23 points per game and 227.6 yards per game passing, which is the strength of the Seahawks offense, as Seattle is averaging 241.5 yards per game through the air, which is 9th best. Kansas City has failed to cover the spread in each of its last 7 games overall and in each of the last 7 games that the Chiefs have played at home in Arrowhead Stadium. I get the case to be made for Kansas City at home here, as the Chiefs have been on the better run in recent weeks and have something to play for at this point. That being said, the Chiefs narrowly scraped by Houston last week, and we've seen the Chiefs struggle as decent-sized favorites all year long. This is going to be a tough test for Seattle, but the Seahawks have their own motives to come out firing here. So the Seattle Seahawks to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. It's going to be cold on Saturday, but not cold enough to slow down Patrick Mahomes and this offense. They're plenty used to playing in these kind of conditions, and they've dropped 30-plus points in back-to-back weeks. We know they're going to hold up their end of the bargain, and I think Seattle will be able to have some success on offense as well. Just last week, Kansas City gave up 24 to a pitiful Houston offense. The week before that, they let the even more anemic Broncos offense score 28. When you consider the fact that they've gone against Davis Mills and Brett Riepy in the past 2 weeks, this is a huge step up in competition for their defense against Geno Smith. The Seahawks offense might not be firing on all cylinders like it was earlier in the year, but it's still a very solid unit. There have been 51-plus points scored in 4 of the Chiefs' past 5 games, and I think that'll become 5 of 6. This one has shootout written all over it. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. New York Giants versus Minnesota Vikings. This Saturday, the New York Giants will travel to Minneapolis to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Kickoff will be inside the U.S. Bank Stadium. Both of these teams picked a win the last time they were on the field, as I am expecting a cold battle in this one. The New York Giants are coming into this one after defeating the Washington Commanders 20-12. They look great on the defensive side of the ball, as they didn't allow Washington to consistently move the ball through the air. They will have to stay solid in this one if they want to challenge the Vikings on the road. The Minnesota Vikings are entering this matchup after pulling off the largest comeback in NFL history. They defeated the Colts 39-36 in overtime. The Vikings will have to stay focused in this one if they want to take care of business at home. The Minnesota Vikings continue to get away with it. Every week, the Vikings find themselves in a close game, and they manage to escape with a victory each time without fail. When Minnesota has lost, it's usually because the Vikings were thoroughly dominated from the start. And while I don't anticipate the Giants running away with this game, New York is certainly a live underdog in this spot. For starters, the metrics would tell you that the Giants are at least on par with Minnesota, if not better. New York is 21st in weighted defense adjusted value over average, while Minnesota comes in at 26th per Football Outsiders. That puts the Vikings alongside a slew of non-playoff teams, including the Rams, Raiders, Panthers, Bears, and Cardinals. No one would mistake any of those teams as quality opponents, so why should we treat the Vikings as anything different? This is an average football team that is having a phenomenal season in close games where variance is involved. Against a competent New York defense, Kirk Cousins and company likely won't be able to move the ball with the ease they have in recent weeks. And on the other side of the ball, Minnesota's defense has trouble stopping anyone, as the Vikings rank near the bottom in pass defense adjusted value over average. One thing that the Giants have done well this season is take care of the football, so Minnesota likely won't be able to generate points from the mistakes of its opponent. This is also a spot where you want to back Daniel Jones, as he is excellent in his career as a road underdog. Jones is 16-5 against the spread when catching points away from home, and this is another situation where the Giants are slightly undervalued against a league-average Vikings team that should let New York hang around long enough to cover this current number of over a field goal. So the New York Giants to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. In most cases this season, the Giants covering the spread pairs nicely with the game going under the listed total. New York is a team that likes to grind down the clock and establish the run, which often leads to longer scoring drives when the Giants are able to get the ball in opposing territory. The Vikings defense will be happy to give up yards, but typically stiffens in the red zone when throwing the ball becomes more challenging. New York's goal line execution also hasn't exactly been perfect this season, as the Giants are certainly prone to settling for field goals inside the 20. If the Giants are to keep this one close, they'll need to keep Minnesota's explosive offense off the field for as long as possible. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.